Ever walked past a business and a beautifully crafted sign caught your eye? That's what we create at Eminent Signs Graphics Inc. Whether you're starting fresh or revamping your brand, our expert team designs, fabricates, and installs signs that truly embody your business's spirit. From channel letters to monument signs, we handle it all. Ready to stand out? Visit us today at 1888 Freeman Avenue in Signal Hill, California, and see the magic for yourself.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
Howdy folks, and welcome into the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport. And tonight we are at the Nurburgring, and it is the combined layout. So we have quite the race on tap for you. I guess should say a couple of races on tap for you here tonight. And I am joined by Mr. James Watson. No Tommy Cook here tonight. He has prior engagements. So it's Matt Williamson filling in for you here this evening. James, we'll get Gunter's guide here in just a moment, but what are your initial thoughts coming into the night?
Chaos, destruction, we're all gonna die. And yeah, pretty much that's it. Let's be real, they call this the Green Hell for a reason. And this is certainly going to be one of I think we could say this will be the most difficult race that our drivers will be dealing with all season long. So just finishing with your car intact will be the biggest accomplishment, no matter where the positions shake out.
I think all of those points are extremely fair. This is certainly, we often talk about just surviving races to maximize your points in a night. And there is no better example of just trying to keep the car clean, and yeah, just keep yourself out of trouble. So with that being said, we'll let Brody Gunter take you around the Nurburgring here, and this is Gunter's Guide.
Today we're at the Nurburgring 24-hour layout in our TWRS Ferrari 296. I'm taking you around one of the longest laps of this season schedule. For starters, we're going to have a hard braking zone into the Turn 1 hairpin, having a chicane type layout. For the second part, it's just as tight and just as slow. This takes us to the normal kind of Grand Prix layout of this track. As we enter the Grand Prix layout, you then have some medium speed corners up ahead, where you'll coast the car through, trying to get as much speed out of it as you can. After that, this leads us down a decently long straightaway, where you can possibly go to the right side of your opponents to die at the inside, to this very hard braking zone hairpin. The banking provides a lot of speed decay and momentum that helps the car rotate all the way on the exit. Next up, we have a high speed chicane where you have to barely lift and coast the car through, trying to use as much track as you can without getting off tracks. Before hitting some more medium speed corners up ahead, we are once again trying to use all this runoff and curve available to you, while it's still available to you. This then leads into the backstretch of the Grand Prix layout. This would be your final hazard opportunity before you enter the chaos that will soon follow. You can possibly drive it in deep here, this very high speed chicane, trying to once again not get off tracks or even cuttings. This is then where it gets a whole lot more complicated as we enter Nordschleife. As you go up this hill, it's just the beginning of what you're going to experience as you go back down into this very spiraling type corner. This is then where it starts to get very tight and very tricky, as the codes can reach out and grab you and possibly send you into the barriers that can end your race. The stars, you're going to have 3 chicanes back to back to back. Very tight and will be hard to make passes, but it's a good place where you can gain time on your opponents if you get them right. Once you get through those, you then have a very hilly straightaway as you crest over the bridge and then climb a hill, having a bunch of grip going up it before losing at the top, hitting a very high speed turn where you can carry a lot of speed. Next up, we have a low kink, followed by a hard braking zone where potentially some passing can be done if drivers are close enough to their opponents. This leads into a downhill straightaway where the going downhill helps to push the car at even higher speeds, being actually one of the fastest straightaways possibly in the Nordschleife itself. So then get a lot of help from the hill once again as they brake going up it to give them a lot of grip under braking before coasting the car through to finally this very slow chicane. What follows is another kink leading to a hard braking zone. This one much slower and calmer, but still difficult and dangerous nonetheless. Trying to use as much against track as I said you possibly can use while watching out for these curbs. They are very tall and can reach out and grab the cars with how high they are, possibly bouncing them and getting them very unsettled. Here you have a very high speed turn as you'll coast the car through for another straightaway before hitting another chicane. Very hard braking zone, but a very tight section where it'd be hard to be side by side with your opponents. Next up, you have a very similar type turn that's kind of similar to the last one, its shape and size. As you brake once hard again, go right by the town, right by all these sound barriers. Going up the hill, having a lot of grip going up it before losing it as you reach the top. Here you have another long radius type turn. As the exit's very important though, as it leads you into a very long straightaway that goes uphill. Now this straightaway being entirely uphill, the engines will be working overtime, using a lot of RPMs and won't even use the highest gear of the cars with how slow you'll be climbing it. This makes drafting very important as it gives the engines a nice brake and relief as they go up the hill. So you just hit kilometer 12. You then have a very high speed type corner where you barely have to get out the throttle, watching out for the grass on exit. This then leads us to another very slow corner where you get hard on the brakes. Coast it out to these curbs. This leads into my favorite section, the carousel. There's a lot of banking where you can carry a lot of speed, you have to use all of it to your advantage, pulling a lot of G's with this very tight corner. You can get it right, you can gain a lot of time on your fellow opponents. We're just only halfway as we go up the hill to the very hilly section of this track. Trying to coast the car through, this is what gets even tighter. Like once again, trying to get as close to these cars and track as possible without bouncing off of them and unsettling the car or getting an off track. Going through here, you have a hilly type turn that gives you some grip going up it before losing it once again down. You can either bounce the car between different gears here or coast it out in the same gear and find a place where you're comfortable. These corners might get repetitive at certain times because of how similar they are driving style wise and looks, but you have to make sure to remember which one follows. This then leads to a corner where a lot of people consider their favorites, the jump, as you'll fly off, land the car, and hope it sticks on the landing, or carrying it through on exit. Then have a little takeoff section right after, where you'll take flat out. Here you have a kink, you're gonna take it very high speed. Maybe just giving the brakes a little bit of a tap, or getting a little harder on them, and coasting out to this curb. You then have a second type carousel type turns, you'll try and use this banking to your advantage. This then leads into the last corner for the backstretch. Very high speed, and because of it being for the backstretch, very important, as you can get a great exit that leads you into this very long straightaway. Possibly one of the longest straightaways in motorsports. You can get over 1.33 miles from corner to corner. Every car will hit their top gear in this straightaway. And look for their fellow opponents in their mirrors or at their windshield, getting ready to either attack into the chicane up ahead or defend. hitting almost 170 at the end. You then go into this kind of double chicane type section, getting hard on the brakes halfway through, one final time, getting as close to these curves as possible while getting back on the power, back onto the Grand Prix layout. And that is just one very, very long lap around the Nurburgring.
Well, folks, that is by far the longest Gunter's Guide you are going to get all season. I see some chatter in the chat about just how long this track is. 16.12 miles to be exact, and an absurd number, 170 turns around the Nürburgring here tonight. That is what the drivers have to deal with. Let's go ahead and take a look at the points coming into tonight. So after our race at Summit Point, which could not be any more different than we have here tonight, let's go to the Gold Division. Scott Kimbrough leads the points, 22 points ahead of Damian Dania. Dania has been very fast here in qualifying, though, so he is looking to put himself in a better position after tonight. J.J. Wang sits there third in the points, 28 points behind. Christopher Hill and Matt Schlosser will round out your top five. And on over to the Silver Division, Matt Johnston leads the points. Rene Garcia and Andre Saba actually tied for second here, 19 points behind your leader. And Anthony Wayan and Brian Deese round out the top five in the Silver Division. James, I know you've put in some laps around the Nürburgring here. You've kind of gotten to see some of the folks make their way around. Who are you looking at, and what are you looking for here for these drivers to make the most of their night?
Well, that's the beautiful thing about the Nordschleife is you have absolutely no idea what's going to happen and who's going to win. Like, you're racing the track far more than you're racing the other competitors that you're sharing the track with, especially since a lot of these corners are very much not corners that you could realistically go side by side through. Yes, technically they're wide enough for two cars, but both cars surviving that isn't super guaranteed, and so just trying to basically keep your car on the track and not put it in one of the Armcos. That's going to be really where we see how this race plays out, as we see Damien going through some of the corners here. In fact, I'm able to remember a lot of the corner names here. There's Long Angry German Word Corner, going into Long Angry German Word Corner, and oh, look at the line he's taking through Angry Long German Word Corner.
Well, he's making the angry words look a little bit nicer on the racetrack, but that is going to conclude the qualifying efforts here. So that will take us into our first race of the evening. Of course, it's the 20-minute time sprint race, and they will get to finish the lap after the 20 minutes is up. So it might, for some of these drivers, end up being more like 25, 26 minutes, depending on where they're at when the timer expires. But let's go ahead and take a look at the starting grid. And we mentioned Damian Dania being quick on qualifying, and in fact, he has taken the pole here for the first race of the evening with a time of 8:15.65. That is almost a full second and a half quicker than Christopher Hill's time of it was 1.49 seconds behind Damien, to be exact there. So, but of course, lots of mistakes are able to be made. You just have to be careful and patient, as James has alluded to here throughout the evening. So Christopher Hill will start there in second. Brody Gunter, you just saw Gunter's guide a little bit ago. He will start in third. Derek Turhams will start in fourth. Bacon Zelenka will start in 5th, and on his outside will be Mike Hamlin starting in 6th. Josh Hagee, Avery Hart will start in 7th and 8th. Nate Siefker, Johnny Alford will start 9th and 10th. Matt Johnston, Brian Deese, they will start on your 6th row. Joshua Muir and Anthony Wayans will start 13th and 14th. Nick Batista, 15th. Corey Rutherford will start in 16th. Andre Saba will start in the 18th position. Alex Howland will start in the 18th position there. And rounding out our last 6 on the field, Joshua Rutherford, Jarrell Williams, Dave Seats, Mike Pepper, Renee Garcia, and Ken Estep will round out your 24 drivers that are going to take the grid here tonight. You might notice that those last 5 did not attempt a qualifying effort, either that or they may have crashed out on their first lap going out. So,
yeah, I looked at it, and Seats and Garcia both messed up their qualifying laps. That's huge implications for the race, because we know both of those drivers are absolutely quick as heck, and it's just a rough season, kind of a season from hell for Dave Seats continuing. He just not been able to catch any break this season.
Yeah, I mean, we go to last season, and it's kind of been one of those seasons for a lot of drivers. There's just been a lot of incidents so far in this season. But, I mean, Dave Seats was one of the premier drivers to look for last season here in the ASRL Sports Car Championship. So he certainly wants to turn things around, but starting at the back of the field at the Nurburgring, that I don't think is quite the way that you want to do it. So he certainly has his work cut out for him here going into the night. Very interested to see how this first lap is going to play out. Also, we'll get to this a little bit later. There's been some shifts in how we do things here. You might notice that we are back to rolling starts as we were last season. That was a change made by the admin team going into tonight, and it will actually be here for the rest of the season as well. That's not just for the Nürburgring here tonight. So a couple of changes here, and we are...
I think we had a crash. Yeah, Matt Johnston crashed into the pit road entry at the normal Nordschleife course.
Wow, we'll have to go back and take a look at that. We are green on the racetrack here. That is quite interesting.
Oh, Bacon Zelenka already
3 wide into turn 1. There's contact. Gunter gets turned. Trying to make his way back out on the racetrack. Gets mixed in with some of those silver drivers there. Wow, 3 wide into the first turn. Did not work out. Avery Hart, Joshua Muir side by side for 8th. It looks like Avery's able to take that spot for now. Here comes Johnny Alford in the 710. He is going to take it in the Corvette.
Side by side through the Schumacher S. Ooh.
And like you said earlier, James, I mean, this track, there's not much width to it. There's a little bit more here in this section of the racetrack, but once we get out further, there is hardly any room to operate. So these drivers really trying to get that track position before the track narrows on them.
Yeah, great point. That was exactly what I was going to say. Is this is basically where like 90% of the passing opportunities are on this track, because once you make that left turn onto the Nordschleife, you're just kind of in self-preservation mode at that point, just trying to make sure you keep it on the black stuff and not into any of the little bit of green stuff and the bright, shiny silver stuff.
No side-by-side here, obviously, as you can see that we have narrowed down the racetrack at this point. Good battle still happening for third here. A couple of gold drivers that have gained a couple of spots here up to this point, battling for third. Johnny Alford still trying to make his way up through the field. He's gained a couple of spots. But he has Joshua Hagee right behind him there.
Yeah, I wonder if Josh had a bit of an incident, because it looked like he was a lot closer to Avery Hart when we switched off of them, and now all of a sudden Alford's in front of him. So and they're already a decent bit away from where Hart was.
Oh, and it looks like Mike Hamlin is going to get around Nate Siefker. Siefker a little bit more cautious into the braking zone there, into that right-hander. Hamlin is able to get through. Oh, and it looks like Rene Garcia is off.
Oh.
Boy, had to start in the back and is having a tough time getting it turned around. That will be... that's a tough start for the night for Rene Garcia. You see Dave Seitz is already retired. I think he was involved in that incident with Johnston maybe before we went green.
I think you might be right on that. I'm trying to look myself, but yeah.
We'll let things get a little bit more. Yeah, we'll let things get spread out here a little bit, and then we'll go back and take a look. Hagee and Alford still close together here for 8th. Alford has the spot for the moment. A little bit further back, Gunter, who got turned on in the first corner. He's trying to work his way through some traffic. Top 5 in the points. Wanted to have a good night. Qualified in 3rd, but he has some tough sledding ahead of him. Side by side with Batista here. Stays side by side through the left-hander, and now Gunter will outbrake Batista.
Some good racing right there.
Giving each other plenty of room.
Yeah, it's always a gut check moment, but that was fantastic driving for both guys.
Zelenka and Turum still battling here for the 3rd position, and Christopher Hill not too far in front of them either, so it's getting ready to turn into a 3-car battle here for 2nd.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a struggle trying to gauge everyone's actual pace right now and not wonder, oh, is that car really pushing, or is that car just kind of taking it easy? And you even wonder that with the leader, you know, Damien's eking out a nice gap. Is he pushing, or is that how fast he's going, even just kind of trying to back her down a little bit and focus on keeping the car pointed the right direction?
Also, for those folks at home, it's been a while since we have some newer overlays, and I have not had to use the time priority on the ticker yet. I'm trying to find where that's at, and having a little bit of trouble there. So we'll get that figured out here in a moment. There we go. 13 minutes left, and still only about 3/4 of the way through this first lap. Gunter looking to make a move on Brian Deese. Deese stays to the outside, gives way. Anthony Wayand will be up next here. Go on board with Gunter. We saw his point of view with a clear racetrack a little bit earlier. Let's see it working behind some traffic. See him pull right up to the bumper of Wayand there. There's been a lot of talk today about drivers that might not have the same pace, just trying to hold their lines, but the fact of the matter is, here at the Nurburgring, I mean, you don't really know whose anybody line is. It's not like you're following them through the same, 10, 11 corners for a couple of laps. I mean, we're only going to make about 3 laps here in this dash race, so really don't have any time to set anybody up. Gunter's going to go for it here on the outside down the big, long straightaway.
Yeah, and it's difficult too because there's not a whole lot of places you can let someone by. Again, you can turn this into a drinking game at this point. This place is very, very narrow. If you move out to let someone have a position, you can end up just easily putting yourself into the wall, or taking out both cars, just trying to be safe and do the right thing, quote unquote. So, sometimes it's frustrating if you are one of the gold class drivers, but and us race car drivers, we're always gonna be mad if we think that someone is inconveniencing us. We're always gonna be irritated, and being able to sit back and actually look at something and realize that other people are having their own races, they have their own prerogatives and whatnot. It's really hard to do that in the moment. So, it's just, it falls on the gold class drivers to just try to have as much patience and understanding as possible. But again, easier said than done, because keeping our emotions in check is not what we race car drivers are known for here.
Yeah, I mean, that patience is certainly going to be put to the test to the max here tonight. No doubt about it, as we're side by side for third here. Turms tries to take it up the inside there through the sweeping right-hander, still side by side into the left. Oh! Touch through the grass. Over the curbing there for Turms. That was a great effort, but was not able to get it done. And unfortunately for him, that might be his last opportunity until the big long straight. And he's got a long ways around before we get to that point.
Yeah, it's a smart move from Tyrrams. I think it's pretty clear that Bacon isn't going to be one to kind of give way in battle, and that chicane is already hard enough to deal with as it is, one by one. So doing the smart thing there and trying to see if he can get by him in some non-existent passing zone for the next 12 miles.
Couple of decent battles here on the racetrack going on. Brian Deese, Anthony Way, and they're battling for 12th. Nate Seifert, Avery Hart for 6th, and then Bacon and Tyrrams are continuing to battle for that 3rd position. Seifert pulling right up to the back of Avery Hart here. Seifert actually got passed by Mike Hamlin in this very corner on the first lap. And Hart able to fend off for now.
This battle rages on.
It's that age-old road course racing. I mean, it never gets old. It's one thing to catch somebody, another thing to pass. And, I mean, Tyrrams has been able to pull right up to the back of Bacon, but it's just he had that one opportunity, and that's really the only chance he's had to even attempt to make a pass here for 3rd. So he's still trying to find his mark while still not not taking himself out of things as well.
And you see they're start to lose connection with the top two just that little bit.
Yeah, certainly battling amongst each other is not going to help things, no doubt. And I haven't mentioned it so far tonight. The leader of the Gold Division not here with us tonight at the Nurburgring. Scott Kimbrough is not on the grid. Wow, that was... I can't imagine that...
Interesting a choice.
I can't imagine that they ever actually were going to attempt that move, maybe just trying to put a little scare into the Acura head.
Yeah, I just that strategy would work for some, but you know, Bacon's a seasoned veteran on iRacing and a immensely talented real life driver in his own right. So a move like that isn't really gonna phase him. But you know, it's you got to do something if you're Tyrrell's. I don't like it in the standpoint of I think it costs him a little bit of time right there, and I feel like if he didn't do that and tried to stay within line, he could have maybe made a move going into the corner at the end of that the long King straightaway right there. But in doing so, with that, he kind of got separated a little bit and just couldn't really make that move.
We'll go back and take a look at the battle for, this is for 6th overall, as Siefker has fell behind Hart for just a moment. He's reeled him back in, but now Josh Heggie has also found these two. And we'll go back to the fight for 3rd. Oh, no, they're both taken out of it. Tyrrell's and Zelenka come together battling for 3rd and ends both of their races effectively. And Nate Siefker actually ran into a piece of one of their cars. He has huge damage on the front.
Yeah, we gotta back that up.
That was wild. Here it is, battle for 3rd. Tyrrell's is going to take a look to the outside here. Oh, and he dips 2 tires into the grass. And while that's happening, and then Zelenka gets 2 tires over the curbing. I mean, that is such a tight spot.
Yeah, you see Tyrrell, like you said, he got the grass, and he slid, and it knocked him into Bacon. Bacon kind of slid off to the side, hit the curb, and it just launched Bacon's car up. And when he landed, it shot straight into Tyrrell, and they both wrecked. Yeah, that's a bit of an optimistic move there if you're Tyrrell, but if you're Brody Gunther, I don't think you're really feeling all that bad for Bacon. So yeah, speaking of which, we haven't looked back at that first lap incident, and it looks like Nate hit Avery when they were trying to slow up for the wreck, and that's where Nate got that massive front end damage from.
Yeah, Seifker did not expect Avery to slow up that much. I mean, couldn't quite see which driver it was, but one of those drivers involved in the accident was pulling back out onto the racetrack at the time. So Avery was trying to take the safest way possible and try not to wreck his own race, but took a big shot from Seifker there to the back end. And now Hart and Bacon and Seifker are now all together. Heggie was actually able to get around both Seifker and Hart there through that incident. So Heggie now up to 4th. Things have gotten all topsy-turvy here after that one. But out front, Damian Dania still has it by just about a second over Christopher Hill.
Meanwhile, we've barely even talked about him, but Mike Hamlin is sitting a commanding P3. And yeah, we haven't mentioned him, for almost an entire lap. But he was able to keep his nose clean and avoid the chaos, and he's sitting pretty in P3.
Bacon nearly put the bumper there to Avery Hart. Now he's going to try and go around, and I think that is Avery letting him have the spot there.
Yeah, I think Avery made a business decision there.
You take one bumper to the rear, and there's probably another one coming if you're not careful. All three of those drivers got out into the loose stuff there.
I think Avery got it, but everyone else sure did. Bacon, he had to fight that car to keep it pointing in the right direction after that. Also, I'm amazed that Bacon, real quick though, I'm amazed that Bacon's car isn't more damaged from that incident. That was heavy contact into the guardrail, but that Acura really does not seem all that worse for the wear. Yeah, here we go.
So this is Johnston in the orange car on the outside, and I don't know if maybe he was looking at one of his boxes or a gauge or something, but just completely misses the left-hander there on that.
And then keep it playing. Does Andre Saba do the same? No, he can't. Oh yeah, someone else hit it too.
Somebody did.
And I think you were right.
Dave Seats?
No, it looked like an all-black Porsche. I think it might have been Andre Saba.
Oh, you're right. And then Rutherford. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Garcia involved in that as well.
Yeah. So
what odd.
We thought, because we knew that that Garcia and Seats got damaged in that incident, but we didn't know that it was a second incident. I thought it was from when Johnson originally hit it, but we had two drivers hit that pit wall. Oh, whoa! Big moment from Chris Hill. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, he caught that curbing, and that was nearly a disaster. It doesn't look like much. If we watch the replay, it doesn't look like much, but
problem for Nate Seifker.
Seifker.
Seifker broadside across the track right now. Luckily, had quite the gap, and I believe that is going to be a silver class victory taken away from Seifker there. He is still... Man, I can't believe he doesn't have more damage. I mean, he has heavy damage to the front already.
Yeah, that poor Mustang, that horsey is seen better days.
Let's take a look at what happens to Seifker here. Downhill braking zone. It just gets loose. A little bit too much speed. Actually keeps it out of the wall. No wonder he's still is able to run decently. What a great slide and save maneuver there for Siefker to not make any more additional contact.
Yeah, and also massively lucky that he had enough of a gap to get it, to back it up and get it pointed in the right direction without anyone coming.
Little battle here happening between Drew Williams and Anthony Wayan. This is for 12th. Only about a quarter of the lap to go. We saw the big moment for Chris Hill just about a minute ago. And part of the reason he had the big moment is he is pushing hard because he is within a second of Damian Dania now at this point for the overall win.
Yeah, remember my questions about everyone's pace earlier in this race? Yeah, there's no questions. We know both guys are pushing like their life depended on it.
I mean, the clock has hit 0 many minutes ago at this point. We're still finishing out this lap. And Chris Hill is catching Dania here.
And, like, this is amazing, the fact that they are so close, you know. This is like, they're almost nose to tail, and that's a wildly short gap in a normal road course. But being this close to each other on a road course that spans half the globe, this is incredible. This is special. You don't see this at the Nordschleife often. Oh, Hill's going to have a run, and he's going to have the draft.
Dania gonna try and snake down the long straightaway. That's it, folks. Just a couple of turns to go. They can still carry a lot of speed through this next turn. Dania still going for the snake. Hill pulls up to the back of him.
Oh, boy. Oh, dear.
Hill backs the corner way up, hoping that Dania might make a mistake. But no mistake is going to be made. Damian Dania takes the race win here in race number 1 at the Nurburgring. Go back to a battle for 4th as Mike Hamlin has finished on a podium position. Bacon in 4th. Josh Heggie will finish in 5th. And Brody Gunter, even after getting spun, heading to the back of the field, he is going to finish in 6th place. So, all things considered, a pretty decent run there for Gunter. And Joshua Muir, he is going to take the silver class victory here after the problems for Nate Siefker. Siefker actually ended up dropping out of this race.
Yeah, he had another issue. He caught curbing on entry, and it just shot him into the wall. That was all she wrote after.
So just a couple of drivers left out on the racetrack. Looks like Joshua Rutherford is going to cross the line in 16th, and Ken Estep will be your last driver out on the racetrack, finishing up his final lap here. And
speaking of, I was going to say, speaking of hurt horses, I think we may need to get the shotgun for that one.
It has certainly seen better pastures. There's no doubt about it. This might be the definition of limping at home.
I see the problem. He ain't got no wing on it. Honestly, if he could get this thing home without a rear wing, this might be the most impressive drive of the night, because I can assure you This car is not handling well with no rear wing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, Kenny Step is never going to back down from a challenge, and that is on display here. While we have a moment, let's go back to the green flag real quick and take a look at that first lap incident. I should say first turn incident for Gunter.
Yeah, I think I have an idea on what happened.
Oh, yeah, this is a major dive bomb here. And that is
Yeah.
Bacon. That is Bacon in the 541. Chris Hill on the outside, Gunter there in the middle. Bacon goes for the dive bomb and actually jumps over the curbing and makes the contact there with Gunter.
Yeah, that's a super aggressive move from Bacon, and it was done in a way that, because you could tell Chris Hill had no idea what was happening on. Like, it was too late for him to get a call that they were going wide, and because of that, Brody couldn't make any sort of evasive maneuver on the incoming car of Zelenka, and Bacon hit the curb, just kind of slid up into Brody and knocked him away. So that's it's a aggressive move from Bacon that just you're watching that going, I don't know about that one, Chief.
Well, we just saw Kenny Step in the 66. He does get the Mustang across the line, so good work there from the 66. We're going to take a short break for the mid-roll here, and we'll come back and see if we can grab a couple of your winners there from the Dash race, and if not, maybe we'll pull somebody else up as well. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Ever walked past a business and a beautifully crafted sign caught your eye? That's what we create at Eminent Signs Graphics Inc. Whether you're starting fresh or revamping your brand, our expert team designs, fabricates, and installs signs that truly embody your business's spirit. From channel letters to monument signs, we handle it all. Ready to stand out? Visit us today at 1888 Freeman Avenue in Signal Hill, California, and see the magic for yourself.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Turn 200's coverage of the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport is presented by Purple Haze Autosport, Eminent Signs and Graphics, Team Watson Racing Setups, CJR Graphics, Mullet Music Productions, and the American Sim Racing League.
Alrighty, folks, we are back from your mid-roll break. Let's give a couple of shout-outs here to the folks in the chat so far, since we didn't really get an opportunity to do that here throughout that first race. Shout-out to Josh Matacek, Roy, Majestic, Don Golden, Jacqueline. Looks like Joshua Rutherford was here pointing out that he had to edit the Hunter's Guide. Boy, I'm sorry that you had to edit that entire thing. Renee Garcia was here as well as our own JJ Wang, of course. And Damian Dania, your race winner for the Gold Division, was in the chat just right before that race started. And I think that's as good a time as ever to go ahead and pull him up into the broadcast booth. We have your winner for the Gold Division and the overall win here in race number 1. You got a copy, Damon?
Yep, I can hear you.
Alrighty. Well, that was definitely a tough test for all of the drivers out there on the racetrack. But you did have the benefit of absolutely smashing your qualifying effort and getting yourself out front. I'm sure that had to have helped.
Absolutely, it helped so much. I couldn't have imagined starting second or third on here. I don't know where I found that quality pace, to be honest, though. That was a monster lap. That was one of the fastest laps I've ever driven. I don't know how I did it.
It was a monster lap for sure. Almost a second and a half faster than Christopher Hill, who is a unbelievably good driver who qualified in second there. But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows there for you. I mean, Christopher Hill did have some pace there towards the end of that one, and he got to your bumper there on the final lap through the final couple of corners. Did you have to pick up your pace throughout the race, or were you kind of at a comfortable pace throughout?
I was stressing out a lot. It's the best way I can say it. I was really running out of steam after the first lap. I just didn't have the energy anymore. My hands are like completely red. I'm completely covered in sweat. So it was tough. But Chris pushed me good. Some great driving there, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the Nurburgring will do that to you. James, you got anything for Damien here?
So now that we have the not full field invert, but like half field invert, what's the plan of attack now? Trying to make it through traffic and keep your car safe and get back to the front here for the second race.
Well, I'm going to use the radio as much as possible to coordinate with everyone else how to pass and where to pass, because I know I have much more pace than most of the people in front of me, so I'm a little bit worried about a few of the corners. But if I wreck anyone, that's my incompetence and not theirs. So, I'm just hoping to manage everything cleanly and get through everyone cleanly. That's the hope, and I wish everyone the best of luck with that as well.
Alrighty, well, let's get a thank you or two in here for you before we let you go.
Well, yeah, of course, thanks to my mother, thanks to my father for watching. Joshua just hopped in for a little bit. He was doing his own race, but he watched the finish, and I really appreciated that he came in and said it was a good win. And yeah, Roy, I think he's watching as well. He might be in the chat. I'm not sure. And yeah, everyone else. Sorry, I'm a little bit flabbergasted because that felt like the best win of my life.
Well, it was certainly a sight to behold. We'll let you go get ready for the longer race here, but congrats on the win in race number 1.
Thank you very much, and good luck.
Alrighty, we'll have to see. Maybe, I don't know if you have dragging privileges, James, but maybe you can try and get Damien where he needs to go, as we are quickly going to pull in your Silver Division winner from the first race, and that is Joshua Weir. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, that was certainly an eventful race. I mean, we had folks crashing before we even took the green flag there towards the back of the field. Lots of good side-by-side racing as well, which you don't get to see too often here at the Nurburgring. How was it from your perspective?
Start on Nurburgring's always, it's always dicey, especially the turn one almost turning back in on itself, so a lot of people get loose. Rest of the track was fairly smooth going, and a couple guys hitting the walls, and it wouldn't be the Nurburgring without some close calls. So overall pretty smooth.
Well, I'm glad the first one was smooth, but having to start in the back of your division now might not go as smoothly. You're going to definitely have your work cut out for you here. How do you attack race number 2 here tonight?
Race number 2 is, you're not going to win it in the first lap or definitely not the first turn, so play it cautious, get myself dialed in, and as the race goes on, kind of see where people fall, make safe moves where I can, really.
James, you got anything for Joshua before we let him go here?
Heck of a run and a heck of a place to get your first career ASRL win at. What's it like getting that breakthrough win here at the Nordschleife of all tracks?
It's definitely a pride point for sure, but let's see if I can bring it home.
Alrighty, well, we only got about 20 seconds before we're going to take the grid, so we'll let you get back to it, and good luck here in race number 2, buddy.
Appreciate it.
And we'll get him back down into ESGI. And we are just a few moments from taking the grid here in race number 2. James, we weren't sure quite what to expect from that first race here at the Nurburgring, but if that was anything to go off of, I think we are in for a lot more of the same here, as we are doubling the amount of laps that we're going to do around Nordschleife here.
I'm thinking this is probably going to be worse.
This is the ultimate test of making sure you keep your car clean. There's no doubt about it, especially with the amount of talent and the amount of speed that these drivers out here have throughout the field. No doubt about it. Let's go ahead and check out. I don't know. This is going to be a little bit more difficult than it normally is for the grid, because we do have a full field invert. And we'll kind of explain things here as we go. This is also being implemented for the first time in the season here tonight. We are inverting the field, and then the silver drivers are actually going to pull to the outsides of the racetrack, and the gold drivers will start in front of the silver division. So the divisions will not be intermingled here in the invert. All of the gold drivers will start out in front of the silver division. But the drivers in their divisions will be inverted here. So we'll give everybody a moment to get settled, and then we'll try and get you a starting grid here.
Yeah, I will say personally, I'm a bit bummed at the rule change, because that's what made the races so compelling, is seeing who could get through all the traffic, the absolute best. And, we got to see some amazing drives from JJ Wang earlier in the season, coming from the last few rows of the grid to top 5 finishing position. So, yeah, I can kind of see what they were going for with this rule change, but I don't know about it personally.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same thing that we used to do one season ago. However, that was different, not only different classes, but different cars as well. So that was true multi-class racing. And it was absolutely a necessity for the prior seasons with completely different car classes, but it just doesn't seem like it was. With these cars being, basically the same thing, just the drivers, it's just didn't seem as necessary, but hopefully things work out for the best here. Well, we're not going to have a graphic for you, but we'll go through the starting order here real quick. Dave Seitz, Derek Tierums, Alex Howland, Avery Hart, Mike Pepper, Jarrell Williams will be your top 3 rows. Brody Gunter, Johnny Alford, Bacon Zelenka, Joshua Heggie, Christopher Hill will be your top 10. Mike Hamlin, Rene Garcia, Joshua Rutherford, Damian Dania, Matt Johnston, Corey Rutherford, Nate Siefker, and Andre Saba, Brian Deese, Nick Batista, Anthony Wayan, and Joshua Muir will be your top 23. It looks like Kenny Stepp is either going to start from the pits or won't be attempting the second race here tonight. And the green flag is about to fly here for the 40-minute race here at the Nurburgring Nordschleife.
Hold on to your butt cheeks, everybody.
Oh boy.
Oh, no.
Will it work out better this time around? We are 3 wide into turn 1 again. Nobody gets turned this time.
Oh.
And that was Gunter, a little bit of payback from the first race. Gunter dives it down into turn 1, says, well, if they're going to do it, I guess I can too. Here comes Zelenka on the outside, gets through on Mike Pepper. And now we'll get to the inside of Jarrell Williams.
Whew.
Not able to make the pass on Jarrell there, up ahead of them. And now he will get the move done on Williams. So Zelenka now up to 6th. A little bit of side-by-side further back here as well, especially here towards the back of the field. Wayan, Rutherford, Andre Saba, Brian Deese, they were really battling hard. Tierums and Dave Seats getting after it for the lead, and Tierums has taken over the lead for Dave Seats. Once again, here on this first opening stage of the race, everybody trying to get as many positions as possible before they get down onto the Nordschleife. Josh Hagee goes through the grass. We'll see if he has a slowdown penalty. Here comes Matt Johnson with the dive bomb to the inside. He makes it work. That was, I believe, Nick Batista or Rene Garcia that he made the pass on, but now Garcia and Batista will battle amongst each other with Nate Siefker right behind them as well. It is all going down here in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's going down for real.
Side by side,
gutsy
Howland
move.
and Hill.
Wow, that was some great driving from the both of them. Oh.
More side by side. Oh, wow. I think they may have thought better of that one, and it's probably for the best. Mike Pepper got a couple of tires off into the grass there, but he's able to continue. He has Josh Hagee right behind. And Williams and Howland battling side by side now, both in Mustangs. Side by side continues. Williams has the run and will take the 6th position away from Howland. I mean, from 6th on back to like 14th, everybody is all in a line here, James.
This is incredible. As we see, towards the near tail end of this line is our race 1 winner. Taking it easy, trying to get through the traffic. And I think that's the silver driver at towards the tail end of this line, Matt Johnson.
Yeah, we know the speed that Johnston can have. He's made a couple of bold moves to make up a couple of positions here so far. It's not going to show that.
I think we might have had an issue with Dave Seats because he is already gone.
Wow, we missed that one. So Seats out basically before the race started again. Oh, and then we have some blinking going on here from, I believe that was Josh Hagee. And now Mike Pepper will get to the inside of Heggie, but will be on the outside into this corner, not the preferred positioning. Heggie able to hang on to it. And that put Pepper in a vulnerable position. Here comes race 1 winner Damian Dania.
Wow, so I went back and saw the seats incident. We were busy watching the side-by-side with Howland and Hill, and right as that battle finished, Dave Seats spun out of one of the corners and I believe just alt F forward.
Well, we'll go back and take a look at it, no doubt. But we still have a lot of battling going on here. Look at this cluster. Howland, Alford, and Hamlin look like the Blue Angels out there around the Nurburgring.
Whoa! Oh! Wow, Mike Hamlin, he was in the grass, but he kept it out of the Armco somehow. That is incredible.
These drivers are being pushed to their limits. There is no doubt about it. We are only 6 minutes into this race. I mean, I can't imagine this pace will be able to keep up as it is. Either incidents will happen or, I mean, something's got to give here.
Something's got to give, and it's going to be the bodywork and suspension components of some of these cars.
Oh, Avery Hart!
Oh, speaking of!
Avery Hart with incident, I believe, was very close there with Christopher Hill. I don't know what happened there. We'll go back and take a look. But not quite yet. Allen, Alfred, Heggie, Hamlin, Dania, all still here together. And just not too far behind them, Nate Siefker sits in 11th. Pepper, Johnston, Batista. I mean, all of these drivers still basically all together. There's a little bit of separation from Dania back to Siefker, but not much.
Nate Garcia also retired from the race already.
Yeah, Garcia, I know, was caught up. I believe Johnston got into Garcia a little bit, as I believe that was Heggie that got off into the grass again. We've seen him do that a couple of times now.
Yeah, you were absolutely right.
The Red Dog the Red Dog Ferrari is letting it eat on the grass, I guess.
I guess dogs are allowed on this grass. Just as long as you clean up after them. Hope you got the little baggie. I don't even know where I'm going with this.
There might be a lot of cleanup of that Red Dog here after before the night is over. We'll have to see. Here comes Christopher Hill. Has a run on Brody Gunter to try and get to third overall, and has to back out of it. Was not there. And that is one lap complete for the race leader, Derek Tierums. Zelenka sits in second, Gunter and Hill third and fourth, as we'll continue to watch this big cluster of drivers here right in the middle of the pack. Dania has a look to the inside of Johnny Alford here into turn number 1. Almost had an opportunity for a twofer there, but we'll have to settle for one. Oh! Siefker gets turned! Oh. Siefker gets turned heading into turn number 2. We have a lot of incidents to take a look at here.
Yeah. Although somehow we'll probably be able to review every incident and still be on the same lap.
Let's take a look at that most recent one. Let's take a look at the incident with Siefker here.
I see a quality overtake for Dania here. Great move on Alfred. And then,
yeah, that was Pepper that got into Siefker there. Siefker kind of taking the wider arc. Pepper up the inside. Make some contact there with Siefker. Let's check out the Avery Hart incident. I believe it's like Hart all on their own. That was close to Hill, but apparently, it catches the curbing.
Oh, wow.
That was great driving. I believe that was...
Yeah, that was Gunter.
I think that was Gunter and Zelenka that were able to split the uprights there. Go back live here for a moment as Hill continues to pound Gunter, and we'll go find the Dave Seats incident. So currently 4 drivers out of this one. So I take that back there. Yes, there are 4 drivers out. Looks like Saba is not out, but is low at the moment. But Dave Seats, Rene Garcia, Corey Rutherford, and Ken Estep currently out of it. As Dania continues to work his way forward. My goodness. Had an opportunity to get 3 there. Was not able to get Hamlin, but that was unbelievable. Now Dania looking for a way around Mike Hamlin to get himself up to 7th. A lot of speed through this section, but nothing doing so far for Dania. Let's quickly take a look at the Dave Seats incident. Seats in that gray and black. Over the curbing.
Yeah, and it just upsets the car.
Yep, big time. Yeah, he gets both tires completely on the inside of the curb there. And yeah, it was a quick disconnect there.
Yeah, the curbs at Long Angry German Corner are not kind. No curb on this track is really all that kind to these cars. Like you've seen it almost every time someone has gotten the curb, it led to either a crash or a near crash. The modern day race cars are not designed to be able to take these curbs that well.
I don't know if any race car is designed to be able to take these curbs that well.
I was just about to say that.
So the big grouping in the middle of the field has kind of subsided a little bit as Gunter has a blink, and I don't know if he gave that spot away or may have kind of messed up his momentum there with the blink. It's kind of hard to tell, but regardless, Christopher Hill is going to move into the 3rd position. And we've seen this from Gunter. I don't know if you've seen it on Wednesdays, but on the Tuesday night broadcast, Gunter has had some internet issues throughout the Venom Truck Series season, so hopefully that subsides and will not continue. Matt Johnston looking for a way around Alex Hallen, and he gets it done, so Johnston is going to move into the top 10 now.
It's a good silver on gold move there. Real clean from the silver driver.
Yeah, and I mean, we've obviously seen it throughout the season so far. Johnston with tons of pace, has pace for some of these gold drivers here. As we see Siefker and Weyand battle for the 13th position now, and Brian Deese just behind them.
I think Weyand might have an issue with his headlights because you see they're blinking an awful lot. Oh, Siefker's off.
Siefker off the racetrack doesn't lose a position, but yes, I can absolutely see the headlights there for Weyand. I don't know if he's trying to distract Siefker or maybe he has a keybind that is not what he thinks it is. Oh, he's off the racetrack now. And Deese is going to be able to get through. So some sort of issue there for the 81. So Deese is going to get through to 14th. That gives some breathing room to Siefker there in 13th. And Alex Hallen in jeopardy of losing another position. Nick Batista now pounding the number 2 car for 11th. And Siefker is begging for Hallen to move out of the way, and Hallen kind of did. I don't think he was being serious, but Hallen is going to give up the spot there to both Batista and Siefker. Well, James, it's getting pretty dark here around the Nordschleife.
Yeah, and it makes me really glad I am not racing because any time that I've done the Nurburgring 24, I've done the night stints, and I have died horribly every time because I struggle seeing my surroundings racing on the sim in the dark, even with headlights. So I know for a fact I would have absolutely not survived tonight's race.
Yeah, we'll hop on board with Siefker here for a moment. As you can see, there's still a little bit of daylight, but it is certainly going down, and it's going down between Siefker and Batista as Siefker is able to take the position away. So much like Matt Johnston, Siefker has a lot of pace for some of that gold division here as well, but he is now going to start chasing his silver division counterpart, Matt Johnston. Go ahead and move our attention up towards the front of the field. Christopher Hill. Oh, a big bump there to Zelenka. I think Bacon was going to let him by.
That's some nerve-wracking racing between teammates. I feel bad for their team owner who probably had their heart skip a beat.
Definitely, there was definitely some miscommunication there. There's no doubt about it. I mean, that was basically a brake check there from Bacon, but I think was maybe just going to let Hill through, as Hill definitely had the pace, let a teammate through and see if he can go get the lead here over the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was because Bacon came over the radio right after that happened, so I was going to try to let you by. But yeah, just another one of the little bit of miscommunication type deal, similar to what we saw between Hill and Dania back at Sonoma a few weeks ago.
Speaking of Dania, he is trying to run down Mike Hamlin again. We did hear Damien after his race number 1 win talk about how after 20 minutes, or just a little under 20 minutes, he started getting a little bit worn out. His hands were a little bit tired, maybe was running out of some of the pace that he had in the very short term. And he was all over Mike Hamlin about maybe 1 lap ago, and suddenly has not really been able to pull up to the back of Hamlin until just now. He fell about a second back and is now starting to reel the 28 back in. Quickly take a look at Brian Deese making a move on Alex Howland. So Deese up to 14th now. And it did not take Nate Siefker long to catch Matt Johnston. Siefker had about 2 seconds up to Johnston after Siefker got clear to 11th and has made short work of getting to the back of the 404.
Yeah, another battle between teammates. Sure, it's nervous times for the guy that owns that team.
I wonder who that could be.
Some doofus, I think. I've never talked to him.
Looks like Johnston may have picked up the pace a little bit here after Siefker's gotten to him. We'll see if he can hang on to this position here in the long term. And Christopher Hill just ran the purple lap of the race. Well, it says it's purple, but I'm also seeing that Kieran's ran an 8:14, so it is indeed not. I'm not sure why it's purple next to Chris's name, but it was a great lap regardless.
Yeah, both mammoth lap times from both drivers. Again, it's clear to see that neither of them are pacing themselves at this point.
Yeah, especially for Hill. I mean, he had an opportunity to try and make something happen there at the end of race number 1, but I mean, he never really got close enough to truly have a great look at it. It was kind of an outside shot. I'm sure that he wants to give himself a better chance here in this one, but over half of this race gone, and he has a big gap up to Tierams. He is going to have to really get on the horse here.
Yeah.
And Siefker able to make that pass on Johnston. Take a quick look back at that one. Johnston just not a great run out of the turn. They're able to go right around, so that'll put Siefker into the top 10 now. For Christopher Hill, I mean, his last lap was about 8/10 slower than Tierams up at the front. And they seem to be just running very similar lap times at this point. Hill may just have to settle for second here.
Well, let's keep in mind that I believe Chris made a pass or two on that lap, which might have cost him some pace. And pit road is going to be a very busy place here at the end of this lap. So, and 3 laps at the Nordschleife is an eternity. So it's a big gap that he's got to make up. But this race is nowhere near being close to settle.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they had the time run out, and then you had the possibility of having, another maybe 6 or 7 minutes after that, potentially, depending on where you cross the line and how much time is left. So you are correct. There is absolutely plenty of time to make something happen, especially with pit stops. As you mentioned, we'll have a very good opportunity to try and make up some time on and off of pit road. As we see Tyrrell's come in, we'll see Christopher Hill is really pushing it there on entry. Has to come to an abrupt stop. Brody Gunter not far behind Hill either, though. Looks like pretty clean into the box for Tyrrell's. There's the getaway for race leader. Hill out of his box, but quite a bit further back on pit road.
Yeah, it's looking about maybe an 11-second gap from Hill to Tyrrell's right now.
Yeah, I think Tyrrell's made up about a second there on pit lane. It looks like pit lane time for Tyrrell's was a 41.5, and it was almost a 43 flat for Hill. So about 1.4 seconds made up on pit road for Tyrrell. So that was the opposite of what Hill wanted to see, but getting some fresh rubber on the race car, Hill is good to go and push for the rest of this one. A lot of drivers on and off of pit road here.
Yeah, and if you're Hill, you have to stop him, kind of take a look at the big picture and see how much you really want to be out pushing, because that is a pretty big gap, and as it stands right now, it's going to look like a pretty solid points day for him, with Kimbrough missing the race and him being a couple positions ahead of Dania on track. So just depends on how much credence he's given to the championship and how much he just really wants to go out there and win this race.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it with, like you mentioned, with Kimbrough out. I mean, 2 second-place finishes for Hill would be a magnificent day. And Dania will see how many positions he's able to make up here in the next 3 laps or so. Currently sits in 6th. He has Mike Hamlin is about 1.5 seconds out in front, and then Bacon Zelenka about another 5 seconds further on than Hamlin. So we'll definitely be able to get to Mike. It'll be close whether he's able to get to 4th, because Bacon does have a lot of pace here as well. These two right here are your closest battle on the racetrack. This is Weyand and Deese battling it out for 12th. Weyand just had a bit of a slip up there on corner exit, lost just a touch of time. And as soon as I said these two were closest on the racetrack, Damian Dania now suddenly within a second of Mike Hamlin. So Dania on fresh tires here at the Nurburgring. He is a force to be reckoned with. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, he's got the bit between his teeth trying to sneak into couple more positions, because yeah, this is looking like a huge point stay for himself as well. If he can at least stay where he's running, I believe he will be the points leader after tonight's event.
This is the onboard with Damien. See where he's able to set something up, if he's able to set something up. Hamlin definitely not just going to give this position away. You saw big wheel input there from Damien. Much different lines between the two. Hamlin enters on the outside, rolls through the inside, and then kind of exits towards the inside as well. Damien, bit of a shallower entry, and then stretching it out to the outside of the racetrack on that exit.
He might look to make that move here to the upcoming hairpin. Nah, he's going to be too far back.
Yeah, it was he was pretty cautious through that quick stretch there, which I don't blame him one bit. He may just be eyeing the big long straightaway to try and make this one. Both of these drivers.
Oh, Hamlin misses the carousel. Oh, nope, that was by design.
I was gonna say if he actually really did miss it, I don't think he would be on the racetrack still, but he is, and he's gonna let Dania go. That was probably a decent decision there for Mike.
Yep, another business decision.
What happened to Zelenka? I've somehow completely missed this. Zelenka is behind Dania and Hamlin now.
Yeah, what in the world?
We knew that Zelenka had a problem at some point because Dania and Hamlin were catching him quickly. Let's take a look. Got to be some sort of incident here. You can see him; he's a little bit loose there. Oh, on the downshift.
Wow.
Oh, and then a narrow escape there. I mean, he's very lucky. I shouldn't just say lucky because that was some great skill to keep it out of the wall as well, but I mean, that slide happened at a point where there was room to operate and was able to keep it out of the wall. Thank goodness, as he is now right back in it and looking to make a move on Hamlin to get back to fifth. Oh, boy. I think Hamlin pulled out of that one. They easily could have been side by side into that turn, and Hamlin thought better of it. I think he knew Bacon was not going to back down.
Yeah, that self-preservation strategy. He's just waiting for something else to happen, because like we saw him use that the business decision strategy to perfection in race 1, getting that
Whoa!
podium. Ooh,
Oh! Bumper to bumper there between Bacon and Damien. Oh, then Damien tries to shut the door on the inside move there from Bacon. Bacon trying to use all of the racetrack, and then he goes wide. Now Hamlin's right back in it.
That's agonizing if you're Bacon, because now you've got to do all that work again. You're back to square one.
Yeah, not only that, this should be the final lap as well. So, I mean, even though one lap is quite a bit of time, you only have one lap left to now make that pass again.
Yeah, and the likelihood of getting the business decision from Hamlin is low, because why is he going to let you by? It's one lap to go. You're battling for position, so he's going to... Mike is probably going to try to hold on to it, and rightfully so.
Oh, looks like... Oh, that was just a blink from Heggie. I saw Heggie disappear there for a moment. Oh, no! Malenka tries to go to the outside of Hamlin, and there's contact between the two. And Mike comes over the radio and says he was down as far down on the racetrack as he thought he could go. We'll go back and take a look at it. I mean, Bacon is, we know how hard he pushes here. Let's take a look at this one. Hamlin is undoubtedly going to try and protect the inside. Bacon goes to the outside. You see Hamlin. I mean, Hamlin's basically on the curbing there. Really nothing else that he could have done.
Yeah. I think Bacon might have squeezed him just a little bit there. Hamlin did, in my opinion, I think Hamlin did everything right and everything that he could have in that scenario.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about how detrimental the curbing is here at this racetrack. I mean, if Hamlin goes down any further, he runs the risk of running over that curbing and spinning himself out and he would probably take both of them out at that point. So, yeah, I think that's probably about the right call there. Looking at the leaderboard here, trying to figure out who our silver division leader is at the moment. I believe it's Nate Siefker down at 10th. So him and Johnston battling. That was an important battle for that division. They were battling for the lead in the division. Oh, and now Bacon has dropped out of the race. So the damage just too much for Bacon to want to continue. Looks like maybe another off track at some point.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rear
just a big
slipped out.
slide, yeah. Big slide,
Yeah,
and this time hits the wall.
Yeah, I think the tires probably had a metric ton of heat from the earlier instance of going into the corner. They just had no grip left, and the rear just came right around.
The close battle on the racetrack now is between Deese and Weyand. These two have been close together for a majority of this race at this point. Avery Hart now starting to come back into the fray as well, who had issue earlier on. And now Weyand a little bit of a slip up. Hart is going to have the opportunity to make the move, and he does. Avery Hart up to 13th. Go on board with Hart for a moment. I mean, it is completely dark here at this point around the Nurburgring. Give you a good look at what racing in the nighttime looks like from the driver's point of view. The good thing for him is there are a couple of drivers in front to give a little bit of extra light further down the racetrack. Bit of a moment there. It's always crazy to me how much road noise there is here through certain sections of this course.
I know, with all the dips in the road and the elevation change. Like, setting up a car for this track has to be an absolute nightmare because you have to make sure that it's got enough ride height and downforce to get through all the tight, twisty turning bits, which is like 90% of the 100 miles. And then you need to have it trimmed for this long straightaway, so what do?
Yeah, you certainly have to pick and choose your battles as Derek Tierums makes his way down the long straight into the final couple of corners. Triple zeros are on the board, and Tierums will take the race win here in race number 2 at the Nürburgring. Christopher Hill, another second place finish. Might be disappointed he didn't get at least one win on the night, but should not be disappointed in 2 seconds, no doubt. Brody Gunter will bring it home in third, and Dania was able to get to fourth. Some couple of mistakes there from Bacon. Able to get Damien up to fourth here, and Mike Hamlin will round out your top 5. Good battle here between Pepper and Johnston. Mike Pepper trying to get one more position into the top 10 here. He's going to take a look to the inside of the penultimate corner. Oh, doesn't quite have the run. Johnston able to hang on to it. And Matt Johnston able to hang on as Nate Siefger takes the win for the silver division. Johnston hangs on for 10th. Pepper will finish in 11th. That is a great rebound race there for Nate Siefger, able to take the win in the silver division after kind of giving one away there in race number 1. That's got to feel good. We'll get his words here in a little bit to see how he feels about his night overall. And Anthony Weah narrowly beats out Alex Allen there for 15th. No burnouts for anybody here tonight. I think everybody was just glad to have this one over with.
Yeah, I'm exhausted and mentally drained, and I wasn't even out there driving. I was just talking about everyone driving.
Still a few drivers out there on the track. Joshua Rutherford, Andre Saba. Your silver division winner, Joshua Muir, had to start further back in the field, and he stayed further back in the field. Is going to likely bring it home in 19th here. It's not quite wrapped up yet, as Corey Rutherford is running behind Muir. So 17th through 20th still finishing things up here. Looks like Roy has some nice words for Damien down there in the chat, and I concur. This is a tough racetrack to start in the back of the field and try and make your way up through. To get to 4th, that was a great drive there from the driver of the 98, no doubt. Joshua Rutherford will bring it home in 17th. Andre Saba making his way through the final couple of corners. Will bring it home in 18th. And your winner from the silver division in the first race, unfortunately, not going to be the finish he was looking for here in race number 2. Number 40 brings it home in 19th. And that means Corey Rutherford is going to round out your finishers here tonight. He will finish in 20th. Well, we are going to wait for Rutherford to cross the line to get your full finishing rundown, but let's get your thoughts on the night overall real quick, James, while we're waiting for Corey to get finished up here.
Oh boy, yeah, it's look, that was basically kind of what we expected from the Nordschleife. It never fails to put on a show. And this was certainly a show, so, yeah, it's awesome job to everyone who was able to bring these cars home in one piece, because Lord knows it's not easy, and, you know, those that weren't, you can understand, because, yeah, I probably would have died on, like, lap 1 of the feature tonight, so, yeah, this place is not, for the faint of heart.
Well, I certainly agree. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. The drivers certainly had a tough task ahead of them here tonight. Let's go ahead and get to that full finishing order here for you in race number 2, the feature race of the evening. Maybe. It's like the overlay. Guess the overlay is not going to work for us here for the final race results. That's okay. We'll go through them, and you'll just have to listen to my not-so-lovely voice here. So, your race winner for the evening, Derek Tierums, will bring home the overall race win and the race win in the gold division. Christopher Hill, another second-place finish. Great night for him. We'll talk to him here in just a little bit. Brody Gunter will round out your podium finishers here in race number 2. Damian Dania finishes 4th. Mike Hamlin rounds out your top 5. 6 through 10, Josh Hagee, Darrell Williams, Johnny Alford, Nate Siefker, and Matthew Johnston. Siefker bringing home the silver division win there with that 9th place finish. A nice rebound from him after a couple of moments there in the race number 1 that took him out of it. Mike Pepper, Avery Hart, Brian Deese, Nick Batista, and Anthony Wayan will be your top 15. Alex Hallen, Josh Rutherford, Andre Saba, Josh Muir, and Corey Rutherford, your top 20. And drivers who did not finish the race, Bacon Zelenka, Dave Seats, Rene Garcia, and Ken Estep not able to complete all the laps here this evening in race number 2. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go in search of your second place finisher for the silver division, and that is Matt Johnston. Going to pull in Matt Johnston here, second place finisher in the silver division here in race number 2. That was, you certainly had your hands full here tonight, but got a nice P2 there in the silver division for it.
Yeah, it was good. I had an internet disconnect in that the sprint race, which really set me back. So I had to really try to make the best of it for the points. Try to hopefully maintain the points lead in silver. Yeah, it's just a meme at this point. Nate Skiefer is just driving up through golds in the silver class. And I was trying to follow him, but not quite the same pace as he has.
Yeah, he had some quick pace, but also ran into some trouble there in that first race as well. So didn't lose too much ground to him here tonight. But it was a very tough racetrack to make passes. Obviously, 170 turns. That is so much racetrack to try and learn. Here, I'm sure you have quite a bit of experience on it, but it never gets any easier.
Actually, this is probably the first race I've really ever done and prepared for the Nurburgring. I've hopped into a few of those weekly Nurburgring races they have and officials once in a while, just to slowly learn it. But I've never had a league run it, so this was a good opportunity to spend some more time on the track and kind of get used to the ebb and flow of things, as you said. And 170 turns. Are you kidding me? That's way too many.
Yes, that sounds absolutely ridiculous on paper. There's no doubt about it. James, you got anything for Matt here?
Yeah, just take us through what strategy you were trying to employ with getting through all the race traffic. You know, as we all know, the Nordschleife is the most easiest place to make moves on. But out there, you made some really solid passes.
Yeah, I just tried to position my car where I thought things would work out. Lap 1, it's kind of bogus. I should have been starting first in my class, but I think I ended up starting third. Then we got mixed up with some golds. And a few of them, they have pace, and I know they're dangerous, so I just let them go, because no need to mess up my race if, they're going to be fast and plow through you. So just, let them get on with their race, try to race, people I could. Who was it? Nick Batista was trying to reel me in, and that last lap, it was so dark. I think he found the curb at the very last second coming out of the Grand Prix track carousel. And so, he had pace. I think he might have had a shot at doing something that last lap. I just didn't have pace. With how dark it got, I definitely lost a little confidence with just knowing the track and seeing things, because it looks so different at night than it does during the day.
Well, it was a tough night for everybody, but you navigated it well, especially there in the second race. So congrats on the P2 in the silver division there in that one. Let's get some shout-outs for you before we let you go.
I got to shout out my friends over at TWR. They're always great to race with, good bunch of people. They race kindly, respectfully, and, race hard. And it's just a good community. So if you're ever looking for good people to race with, you know where to find us.
Certainly. Congrats again, and we'll hope to talk to you next week, or at least Tommy and James will.
I hope to be back. Thank you.
Alrighty, so that was your second place finisher in the silver division. Let's go ahead and pull in your silver division race winner, and that is Mr. Nate Siefker. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, you got it done there in the second race, but I'm sure there is some disappointment that it didn't come in the first race. A couple of incidents there for you. Talk to me through the first race and what kind of unfolded to unfortunately take you out of that one?
We had really, really strong pace. We were running right with everyone there. Probably, I let a couple people by. Probably could have had the pace to keep in front of them too. Alex and them, and then, I was running lap 2, and then I don't know what happened. I don't know what the corner's called, the one where you jump down. But there's a crash, and I rear-ended them. There was no yellow flag. I had no notice of it, so that damaged the front, and then the balance was off from there, and then I screwed up. I spun out the car once, and then I finished it off with no downforce on the front later. So that's just unfortunate. I had the pace to be comfortably in the golds with that one, and then the feature, was pretty decent. We were behind that gaggle there. Then we got tagged, just taking on a different line, trying to get a run on the guys because I was trying to stay in front of Matt. Matt was the top silver guy, so I was trying to get some ground between them. So I was trying to make some moves to build a gap. And just got tagged, and then just clawed back to get there. Made some passes, some pretty cool moves, and got it done.
Yeah, you certainly did. A lot of pace out of you tonight, and you're able to come away with at least one race win here tonight. You kind of talked about the gaggle there that was together. There were, I think the line was from about 6th back to around 15th place for the first couple of laps of this race were all stacked up together. At that point when you have that many cars in a line, how do you attack that? Can you attack it? What do you do in that situation?
Here it's almost impossible. There's really only, you have the Grand Prix circuit. That's a lot of corners you can pass at there, but then, the rest of the track, there's only a couple zones. So you're really just kind of sat tediously just waiting until you get to the long straightaway, and then you can start to do stuff. And that's kind of what you saw there, and everyone was kind of trying to make moves, and then you got to the Grand Prix circuit, and everyone was fanning out 2 by 2, and it was going to be a mess. I don't know if it was a mess the rest of that lap there, the Grand Prix circuit on lap 2 there, but for me it was. And, once we got through it and got individual cars to pass, it wasn't difficult. But it was just a little bit more work than I anticipated getting back through, but still got through pretty easily for the most part. Definitely had this way stronger pace than the silver class deserved. But yeah, overall it was pretty decent.
James, what do you got for Nate here?
Take us through the. We saw you caught up in the big wreck there in the sprint with Zelenka and Tierums and Avery Hart. So take us through what happened with all that.
I was just following Avery. Just minding my P's and Q's. Like I said, we had the pace. I let them go just because the golds and they were racing each other. I could have just probably been in front of them, but I was just running behind them. And then he could see it. I had my vision completely blocked by him. And they were kind of, I watched it back between the races. They were kind of up around the corner on the wall. So I went back to my cockpit. I couldn't see them, period. I barely even saw any smoke. I couldn't even tell you. There were 0 yellow flags on my screen. And then, so it kind of surprised me when he checked up that much in front of me. And I thought, that wasn't necessary. And then I realized, I just passed a crash scene, and I looked, and there was 0 yellow flags. So I don't know if it was an iRacing glitch that caused that, but yeah, that part was unfortunate. And we probably, for that lap we did, I still had some pace. It was just completely out of balance, and so the rears just were gone at that point, and then the fronts went. So by that point, the tires were just shot. Unfortunately, with the damage. When you have a clean car, the tires can stay pretty decent, but once you get a little bit of damage, it throws the balance off, and you start working the tire more, and then when you work that tire more, then it just compounds and compounds and compounds, and eventually it's just going to boil over. So that's what happened there. Didn't have too much damage in that feature spin, thankfully, so was able to keep rolling with it and kept the momentum rolling.
You certainly did. You captured the race win for the silver division there in this race number 2. Let's get some thank yous and shout outs here for you before we let you go for the evening.
Yeah, I want to thank all the guys at TWR. The great support group from them. They've definitely done a great job for me the past week or so. So I want to thank James and everybody at TWR for all the help and all the things they do. I want to thank you guys for being up here in the booth. You guys do an incredible job putting the show on. I'm excited to watch this race back. I want to thank the Sim Gaming Expo, of course. I want to thank all the partners that have partnered with TWR as well. I thank the admins for putting this on.
Sounds great, partner. Well, congrats again, and we'll hope to talk to you again next week.
Awesome. Peace out, guys.
Alrighty, that was your Silver Division winner from race number 2, Nate Siefker. And I don't see, I've been looking through the Discord, I don't see Derek Tierums in any of the race chat, so I think our final interview of the evening will be with the P2 finisher of the overall and the gold division, and that is Christopher Hill. And you got 2 P2s here tonight. That's a pretty good night.
Yeah, definitely could be worse. Was definitely hoping to get one of the 2 victories, but hey, I think in the long run here, we probably ended up making ground on everybody tonight. So that's I guess that's good. And yeah, I mean, happy with it, especially in this place like the Ring. I was so bummed. I dropped wheels 1 place on the second race. I got a 1X, and I was like, dang it, almost had a 0X for it. But all in all, good night. So.
Yeah, well, you mentioned kind of making up some ground. You certainly made up ground on the points leader coming into tonight, as Scott Kimbrough was not here this evening. So I think from that standpoint, a couple of second places is certainly going to catapult you in that regard. But yeah, you had a couple of opportunities to maybe try and grab a win. It was pretty far out of the grasp here in the second race. Tierums had quite a bit of pace as well and just had too much of a gap on you by the time you got to second. But talk to me through race number 1. I mean, you were on the bumper of Dania there through that final lap, just couldn't quite make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good run coming onto the straight, and then man, he just couldn't keep the thing straight down the straightaway. I thought maybe his steering was broken or something, so I just kind of, tried to get up on him there, but yeah, it was kind of one of those things. There was probably a gap I could have gone through, but it might have ended with both of us not finishing. So I decided, hey, I'll just stay behind and cross the finish. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Other than that, early on the race, I don't think I had quite the pace, but I was able to start tuning up a little bit more, and we got there by the end. Yeah, for the feature, it just took too long to get through traffic. I think if I had been closer to Derek there, I might have had a chance to hunt him down, but there was a point there where it was risk versus reward when it was still staying, about the same gap every lap. I'm sitting there going like, man, if I push everything I got, I'm going to gain like 0.2 this lap, and it's not worth it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, happy with the P2s, all things considered.
James, what do you got for Chris?
So, obviously, we're well aware of how difficult this track is and how quickly things can go wrong. How does that factor into your thought process in the middle of a championship battle? Obviously, with a huge amount of points on offer with the points leader missing the race, did you kind of keep that in the back of your mind a lot, or did you just focus forward and try to push for the dubs?
Well, I mean, you do the best you can, but the thing is, it's not like there's this massive reward for one more position in this series, right? I think it's like a point or 2 at the most, you know what I mean? Unless, maybe from laps led, maybe there's a little bit extra. Obviously, every point counts, but on a place like this, it's like, if you really look at it, how many people, kind of DNF themselves throughout the race. So for me, I'm going to drive at a pace that I can hit my marks pretty consistently without any major errors. More so that I'm going to try to just for those last tenths or so. Obviously, in their first race there towards the end of the race, I'm like, well, I'm still in sight, so let's push a little bit and see if we can't close the gap. And we were able to, just ran out of the ability to get by at the right place, But it was worth a shot. Might have gone a slightly different way had it been another 10th closer or something coming down the straight, or had I mimicked the snake down the straight a little more. Sometimes it's funny. One of those things that like someone can snake and you can sometimes be on your own, and you gain ground since they're weaving and scrubbing tire, but it didn't quite work out that time. So it is what it is.
Well, it's still a good night for you overall, no doubt. Let's get some thank yous and shout outs here for you before we let you go for the evening.
So let's see. I'm going to start off with I want to dedicate these podiums to my dad. He passed away a couple of weeks ago, and I was hoping to be able to give him a dub, but got to thank him for everything he ever did for me, and the fact that I'm even enjoying the sport I love is a tribute to him. So beyond that, thanks to James and the gang and everybody at the Team Watson Racing Setups. They've been a second family for me. Really nice group of guys, and just good people in general. And then, of course, got to mention Precision Racing Instruction. So if anybody's looking for a little help in the sim or real world, feel free to reach out, and we'll do our best to tune you up from there. But thanks to you guys for broadcasting, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Well, sorry to hear about the passing of your father. All the thoughts and prayers to you and your family, and hopefully everybody's still doing well. So thanks for coming out, putting on a show for us here tonight, and I'm sure he'd be proud of a couple of P2s. It was a tough race for everybody here tonight, and you did quite well. So congrats, and hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, man.
Alrighty, that was P2 finisher in both races, Christopher Hill. Again, I don't see our race winner from race number 2 anywhere here in the Discord, so I think that is going to wrap it up for our interviews here, Mr. James Watson. We've gotten a chance to hear from the drivers. Seems like everybody was just trying to hang on. They were optimistic about being able to have some pace, but at the end of the day, they wanted to make it through all of the races. But unfortunately, that didn't happen for everybody. And to me, we saw a lot more side-by-side than I honestly thought we would. There were quite a few daring moves and big dive bombs, but also some great clean racing to happen tonight as well. I think it was a pretty fun night overall, at least for us. I don't know about for the drivers, but it was fun to watch for us up here in the booth.
Yeah, it was truly a wild one there. It follows the line of some truly spectacularly wacky races that we've seen this season. And the series never fails to put on a show, So, awesome race, and can't wait to see what happens next week.
Yep, I'll be tuning in. Tommy Cook will be back along with James Watson for the call for that one, so don't go anywhere. You'll want to be here for next week, no doubt about it. We'll shout out everybody that was in the chat here first, and then we'll kind of get to our post-race normalities here. Shout out to Damian Dania in the chat a couple of times after the races and before the races. A heck of an effort there from Damien to get the race win in race number 1, and a hard-fought P4 there in the second race. Shout out to Roy for cheering on Damien. Don Golden here for the Rutherfords. Josh Vodacek cheering on his teammate Damien as well. Bart was here cheering on Damien also. Lots of support for Damien Dania in the chat here tonight. Looks like Majestic, Joshua Rutherford. That is Renee Garcia there. And I think that was it. So shout out to everybody that was in the chat here tonight with us. Always appreciate the support. And hope you enjoyed that one as much as we did. I know we had a lot of fun up here in the booth, and hopefully you enjoyed it at home as well. Let's get to what we have coming up here soon. We have the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series coming up on Thursday night, and I am blanking on where they are at, but I'm sure that it will be a fun one, no doubt. I'm trying to get to their schedule right quick. I believe it's going to be a really good one. Oh, that's their new schedule. Anyways, catch the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series on Thursday. Tommy Cook will be back for that one tomorrow night, along with Joshua Monachek, as always. So you won't want to miss that. If you are not doing anything on a Friday night, I'm going to throw a quick little plug in for Special Stage on JCTV. You can catch that on JCTV. It is the championship finale of the Special Stage Joker season, and myself and James Watson are in the heat of a championship battle, actually. So that will be fun to get that one done and dusted on Friday night. Hopefully you'll tune in and check that one out as well. And then we'll be back on Monday night for the Formula Super Series, and then Tuesday night Venom Truck Series. It is the championship race. They have a 5-race chase going on, and it is the final race of the season, and a very, very close championship battle for the top 2. It is going to be one that you don't want to miss, no doubt. That is at Homestead Miami Speedway, finishing off the season where it should be in NASCAR. So you're not going to want to miss that. And then we'll be right back here on Wednesday night for you. Tommy Cook, James Watson, they will be back in action. So hope to see you one of those evenings, if not all of those evenings. Again, hope that you enjoyed it. And thank you to James Watson for joining me here this evening. And shout out to Mr. Tommy Cook for, he was having a lot of fun here tonight. He was at a concert, so hoping that he's enjoying himself. I'm sure it's not even close to over yet at this point. So thank you, everybody, for watching, and congratulations to our race winners from tonight. Damian Dania and Josh Muir in race number 1, and Derek Tierums and Nate Siefker take the wins in race number 2. Have a good night, everybody.
This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.